Hey folks, guess what? It's me again. Hey friends, it's Lisa Mason Ziegler dropping in one last time today because, I feel like if maybe you're not on our email list, you probably haven't had the last warning, which is that the special offer goes off tonight on mine and Dave Dowling's course. And so that's the main thing I'm here for. But I wanted to talk about, for just a minute, I walked outside because a rain started. We've been waiting for rain all day. Cool flowers are about this tall out in the garden, the transplants, and the direct seeded stuff is just cracking, and they were promised us rain. And I just stuck my head out the back door, and it's just starting, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out and touch base with you guys, and hopefully by the time I go back in, it'll be raining a little bit more. Something about watching my garden get rained on really makes me happy, y'all. This is what happens to you when you farm for a living, right? It's the little things that make us happy. Anyway, what I wanted to kind of just bring to the surface, particularly for folks that may not have ever really been a part of a community that is really supportive and helpful and really rooting for you. So often I find that people aren't really rooting for you. You're on different pages. And I just want to say that is just one of the pieces of Flower Farm and School Online, that we have just built such an amazing community of people that you become a part of when you purchase one of our courses and become one of our students. And, I've just written down some phrases of what students say to us. And sometimes when you make a decision to do something and it's either really important to you or it's going to cost money or something like that, we hear a lot from students how gratifying and affirming it is to have a sounding board in these groups. How you can go in and say, I was going to do X, Y, Z. Anybody else tried that? And people chime in, because it's very much like I kind of compare it when you're having a struggle or trouble and you go in there to look for some answers maybe or support. I mean, the rest of the group, there's a core group in there that just kind of runs over and picks you up and carries you off. It's incredibly affirming for making decisions in areas that maybe you're not really familiar with yet. And it just really helps you to clear your vision, hearing about somebody else's experience. And I'm going to tell you what I find is the big difference between our communities for our students only and outside, basically public. Even though some of them are closed, they're still very public. Anybody can join if they answer the questions right? And what that means is that there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions that perhaps maybe even haven't even grown a flower. Maybe they've never sold a flower, right? In our groups, it's people that have the same skin in the game as you when you join it. That means they've made a little investment and they have a goal in mind, and it changes the whole atmosphere of the exchanges that go on there. Incredibly supportive, very transparent. I mean, people come in and you can talk about anything with business, because you know that your customers aren't in there, you know that they aren't watching and listening and seeing what your vulnerabilities are. You, as a professional, you don't even want to discuss that stuff in a public way. And clearing your vision for an idea or a niche or a business avenue that you're going to go through, that is really, really important. And I tell you, the other thing is finding your map, finding your path of what you're going to do, because I can almost promise you there's others in our group that are thinking about or have done before you or have tried, that they might be able to support you in some way. And there isn't really a competitive piece to this group. Of course, we don't allow any slap talk, but we've never had to delete any either. People just in this kind of setting, people just don't behave that way, right? It is really, really helpful. And more importantly, the courses, because you feel like you're more equipped, it really calms your fears. Dave and I were talking earlier that I told him that even the week I retired from selling commercially, one of my customers that was a really big buyer for years was Colonial Williamsburg, and they would take a ridiculous amount of flowers. I mean, a ridiculous amount. And every week, as I was pulling away from that loading dock, I would say in my mind to myself, they'll never buy flowers next week. They just bought so many flowers, they couldn't possibly need more. And so I was fearful every single week. But having a support group helps you to overcome those things. And I did that through peers, right? On a much smaller basis. And it was a little bit more difficult and it wasn't quite as convenient. But I got over it. And also confirming your choices. It's really funny. Sometimes people will come in with an idea and other people chime in and say, oh yeah, definitely do that. I tried it and it worked for me. Or somebody will say, no, don't do that. Build your confidence, and you have somebody to stand behind you. Just think about facing a problem that you're unsure of, whether you have the knowledge to make the decision or not. You might just need somebody to stand behind you and put your hand on your back. And that's kind of what our course community environment is really all about. So friends, I'm not going to go on much because I want to go out and see if it's raining on my garden. But I just wanted to say, you will receive more than you expect. My course, Dave's course, is bundled together for a special of $995, which is $150 off, through midnight tonight, Eastern time. And we'd love to have you join us, and we'd love to help you start or reinvent your flower farm by guiding you through that, perhaps. And so, friends, until we meet again, hopefully on the inside, right? Hope to see you in the group. And till we meet again, friends, ciao.